summertime. Welcome in the mail, for summer is a-coming in, and winter's gone away. What happened to the Spaniard? The mates are brave, the boast, oh, that they shall eat the feather goose. We shall eat the roast, oh, Highland toad. Jolly Rumbelow, we were up long before the day, oh, to welcome in the summertime. Welcome in the mail, for summer is a-coming in, and winter's gone away.
Tune in to International Pagan Radio. You can hear your favorite artists such as Dave the Bard, Tuatha Dea, Spiral Rhythm, S.J. Tucker, Murphy's Midnight Rounders, and many, many more. Join us for exciting shows like Ask a Witch and Storytime with Rook as well. www.internationalpaganradio.com on the net or on TuneIn Radio on your mobile devices. Join us on Facebook and Twitter too. International Pagan Radio, all pagan, all the time.
Welcome back to An Emerging Forest on the Spiritual Unity Radio Network. We hope everyone was able to stretch their legs and get a drink. And now, back to Alan.
Well, before the break, Laurie was talking about a poem. And where does that poem come from, Laurie?
So this is it's a reflection. You know, I'm writing my first book. You know that. I'm the temporary name right now is called Waves of Love, Grace, and Clarity, and it's stories of synergistic experiences and laws of attraction and just reflections and lessons that are learned, in my life. So this poem is called it's not a poem, it's like a reflection. It's called Blue Diamond's Graceful Call. So, I was taking this writing class, and the facilitator, the teacher, had said to us, it doesn't matter. For a second here,
this is on your website?
It is. It's on my website.
This poem is on your website?
Yes, LaurieCagno.com. And if you go to my website, it's the second on the navigation bar. It's called My Storybook. And under that, a subpage is called Blue Diamond's Graceful Call. I was taking martial arts class lessons, if you will, at the time. And I'm pretty sure I shared about that the last time.
Yep.
And so here's a little reflection, just tying into what I've been doing. What am I doing with myself and and such. All right, you guys, brace yourselves. Here we go. So it's called Blue Diamond's Graceful Call. And this was published in a book called 365 Moments of Grace. Okay, and you guys can see that as well. Anyway, it's called. So here we go. As a natural-born singer with intuitive gifts, deep empathy, and a great passion for life, I've spent much of my life soaring high on dreams and visions. But I've also had my share of pushing and pulling, fussing and fighting. At times, I felt backed into tight corners or trapped within my artist ego, my head filled with noise and confusion. There was a time when I even doubted my own soul's wisdom, my inner song, my own voice. Then I heard the message, when the outside is silent, the teacher from inside our hearts speaks volumes. So I sank into the silence where I heard the whispers calling to me, bringing me face to face with my source, wise blue diamond eyes that saw right through my own warm brown eyes, shaking me to the core, filling me with waves of love and clarity. Sing, songbird, sing, I heard. Heal those broken wings and fly. Watch, look, and listen as your soul soars and roars, moving mountains. The whispers of Blue Diamond's graceful call return me to my true essence, revealing me to myself, filling me with love, transforming me with each breath I take. I am cut by the powerful silence, set free. Gentle, wonderful tears bleed into me, seeping tenderly, covering and coloring me, filling me to overflowing through passionate kisses in my mind's eye. I find my voice rising again in a tapestry of sighs and woes and highs and lows as I sing in celebration. Yes, we bloom where we are, even when we fall. With a new dawn, light peeks through, and with eyes wide open, I see a glimpse of shifting tides as a new song arrives. That's it.
It's really nice. Did you write it all in one sitting?
Yeah. Mhm.
So it just came within 15 minutes, or how long did it take you to write it?
Oh God! Well, the best writing is in the editing, of course. But I just sat down and wrote this. What happened was I couldn't get a hold of my martial arts teacher. He sends I call him Andre because we didn't have a formal, we would meet at the park, near my house for 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Once a week for 16 weeks, long story short. And he was, he wanted me to, learn to hear my own voice, because I would ask questions, and he was teaching me, you got to listen to your own voice, because after so many years, I played music for a long time, and, we sold 10,000 CDs in a 3-year period of time, and it's way back, and so I've been trying to bridge in my mind my past, my present, and moving forward, okay? And so I was questioning a lot of things, and I was getting perspective on the past, and, this isn't that long ago. We're talking about, 2014 when I wrote this. I was looking, gaining perspective, going, wow, holy mackerel, what happened there, and what happened there, and holy Jesus, and wow, that was pretty cool, you know what I mean? But, and then I stopped playing music for a long time because my God, I literally had a nervous breakdown because, after 3 years in the beginning, honestly, I'm transparent here. After, not 3 years, after 10 years of hitting it in the local scene, and God, we don't have enough time to get into the conversation. But, just touching on it, being honest is, that big thing didn't happen. I didn't get discovered by some big producer, you know what I mean? And so, holy mackerel, now what do you do? And, reality sets in. I almost feel like I was buried alive, sometimes. I go, Jesus, those CDs, my music didn't really even have a chance to get out there. I didn't have the resources, or I didn't have I don't know if the resources is the right thing to say. It's more like I just didn't know how to do it. What to do. And all the, I don't know. There's too much. But I don't think I was mature enough to know what to do.
it's interesting to hear what you're saying, and you're disappointed. You were disappointed at your journey because you didn't achieve the end goal, that you didn't achieve stardom.
Right, I was setting myself up psychologically.
But what I have had to use as a coping mechanism is to look at it and say, I got where I was supposed to get to.
Right.
I learned exactly what I was supposed to learn, and now I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing now. Yeah. And
for sure.
Then I also have had the fortune or misfortune to understand a lot more about the folks who actually do achieve stardom and who they are, and we're not them. So
I don't think stardom.
There's another qualification that you don't have, that doesn't allow you to go in that door.
Well, I don't feel like, what I've come to realize is that, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't really matter. That illusion of stardom is really just an illusion. I probably was,
right.
I mean, I believe that it's like I love life and I love people, and my music touches people. It did. It still does. It can. I still am a writer. I still write music. I still write songs. The expectation is different because I don't have this expectation of a false expectation. Like I don't know. I mean, I certainly know that I'm a naturally born singer, and I'm a creative person, and I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how Laurie Cagno lands. What? Somebody say something.
No, I was going to say with the idea of let's talk about stardom, which is the thing is that the lowest common denominator usually becomes the most popular, and I believe that that's across the board. I mean, that's not always the case with music. I mean, pop music is pretty much a waste. There's places where it has to be about the creativity and the staying true to your muse, so to speak.
Right.
And I believe that when someone gets to the point where they're stardom, a lot of times they've lost control of their, or they've got too much control where it becomes too self-indulgent. But did you tour did you tour regionally? Like, did you open for other artists? What size places did you play, or have you played?
Yeah, no, it was a very local scene that I was a part of. It really wasn't. It didn't really get a chance to. I guess that's where my frustration is, and also I'm encouraged because again, I know these songs still touch people's lives. People send me messages. They ask for the songs. They play them. But it's like these songs are just so still in my heart. I still believe in them, and I think that they didn't get a chance to jump off and go out there in the world. They kind of like, a little bit of peak, and then they came back. But there's reasons for that. Again, there's a lot of different reasons for a lot of things. I perhaps was not ready for that. There wasn't the internet, it wasn't like, it's like it's taken me all these years to get these things downloaded, these songs, and, downloaded on cdbaby.com. People can download the songs. And we can play a song, you know what I mean? And give people a little taste. there's a song called "Think of This." I don't know if you have that, if that's queued up, possibly to play that. Or, Peace of Mind you could play. Pick one. Pick any one you want there.
Well, Laurie, actually, we have a caller, and I talked to him, and he's got some questions. So okay. I'll bring him on. Okay.
Okie dokie. Come on.
Hi. How are you?
Hello. Hi. It's Dave Miller. How are you all?
Hi, Dave.
How you doing,
Miller
Dave?
with Touch Mother Earth.
So, thank you. First, I had a comment, and then I had a question. So the comment, which you were just referring to before, about stardom and like whether we want to achieve that as a goal, and I can tell you as a producer, I've already gotten to my limit. I only want to handle so many phone calls in my life. I need my personal space as well.
Of course. Well, I knew it wasn't important. I mean, I lived my life the way I wanted to live it. You know what I mean? And Dave Miller has invited me to play at Touch Mother Earth. There's an event, which Dave, I hope you can talk about, on June 3rd, Sunday, June 3rd. I am going to play live, and I'm going to bring a couple of musicians with me, and we're going to have some fun. And it's more about having some fun and bringing some more light into the world. And I'm still alive.
Thank you for that plug. TouchMotherEarth.com. But that leads to my question, because
yes, Whitney.
You guys were earlier talking about things we don't teach in our family, self-love, etc. At what point did you find, the better question was, what is it that drives you and motivates you to the words that come out in your songs? Because you are an excellent songwriter.
Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. What motivates me is again, the love I have for myself, I guess, but for people. The love I have for bringing light into the world and being our true selves. It's like we got to have hope, for God's sake. We need hope. We need more hope in this world, and I want to encourage people, and I want to be able to. I could write about anything, because I'm that kind of person. I'm inspired. I'm just an inspired kind of person, and so I write songs of love, and that's what drives me. Compassion, empathy. Does that answer it?
You know what? I think you said it earlier in the interview. The motivating force for you when you were talking to Alan was that everything comes under the umbrella of love. All things are possible, and even understanding hate, which would be Alan's point of view, because Alan has this amazing ability to distance himself in a proper way and say, let me observe how that's acting, how maybe that's acting, and how I'm acting in relation. And when you pull yourself away, you have that removal of cognitive dissonance, etc. You're able to say, for the first time, I can see the other person's point of view and not be attached to it.
Right. That's right.
That is a form of love. You may not like the actions or the person, but you respect that it's part of the balance, yin yang of life.
Absolutely.
Right. I look at this. Let's use an analogy. Let's say it's a flower.
Okay.
So if the flower only has one petal, it's not that much of a flower. So if there's one political system doing things one way, and it's extinguishing the existence of all other political voices, the flower is shrinking. So I'm not here to say one petal is right and the other petal is wrong. I'm here to say, hey, I want more of the flower to be present so that we can have more diverse experiences, more diverse interplay, more diverse conversations. I look at the entirety. I was discussing mathematics of operating systems. The one operating system that says good and evil. The other operating system that says, no, both are right. It's my responsibility to be in the shoes that I'm in. Okay, those are just 2 operating systems. How many other operating systems are there? I don't know. I haven't been inside of them, but I know they exist. So that's the conversation of consciously enabling diversity.
Right.
Diversity is definitely a critical thing, because when we look at things in terms of duality, it's either right or wrong, us versus them.
Right.
And we're so locked in, for example, to a political system that it's either one bashing the other, undoing what the other did. And if you think about this analogy, a stool with 3 legs will always be able to plant itself firmly on the ground.
Right.
2-legged, bi-legged, you're balancing, you're walking, your left is right is wrong, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
4, you got a wobbly stool with the legs aren't all the same or the terrain's not the same, and that's not bad still. You could deal with that. But when you got 3, there is a solid footing, and for some reason we just, we don't honor that there is a third choice.
Right. Well, the problem,
and
too,
that's
is the
often
law
true
of polarization. And with polarization, the farther you get to the farthest end, then things like the farthest right you go is close to the farthest left. So the polarization in this country, which goes back to not having 3 legs, because everyone's either to their farthest extreme on both sides, and there's no third meeting.
Yeah, the interesting thing about discussing the political system is there's a salesman. And the salesmen are, quote unquote, a group of people who have said, can we make our living by selling polarization to other people? Will they be entertained? Will they live their lives in the illusion of society that we create based on polarization? And the answer for most people is yes. And so most people take in the values of polarization and live their lives within the illusion of polarization, and
which
it's
is
only
terrible.
Some quirky. It's not terrible.
Right?
It's an operating system. It's an operating system with it, that is building character. Each one of the people who is experiencing polarization and perfectly happy within polarization is a God building a character. So that's the reason I'm quote unquote not letting you get away with that is because I wish it's my show. I wish to say no, there's another operating system in which you allow for the existence of people that you don't understand or people you don't like. Because they are in existence means they are sampling experience and creating a soul.
Right. Agreed. And of course, I would never diss anybody. They're all important. I just think it's dangerous.
You would never throw anybody into the pantheon to the lions, right?
No, man, I never. I mean, it's like, I love everybody. We should. I agree with that. I think that, we all have our ways of getting there. I mean, I love Jesus Christ. I love Christ. I'm going to say it. Okay? But I love the Dalai Lama, and I love all leaders, sacred leaders, and that could be a homeless person in the street, for Christ's sake. It doesn't have to,
Very true.
It doesn't have to, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, it's just, I think it's just important that we get right down, keep it down to basics and just love each other, for God's sake. And all people, I don't care what nationality you are, what color you are, what your background is, how rich you are or poor you are. The bottom line is that we all have to live in this world together, and we have to make it work. And you can't put people down. You got to lift people up. And we
need to lift people up, and we have to
love ourselves.
In doing that, we need to look at the bottom. If we cannot support the bottom, I mean, there was a woman talking the other day on a program about just keep some hand warmers, and if you see somebody homeless,
right.
give them a hand warmer to slip in their sleeping bag. If we can't even take care of our bottom, and yet that becomes this whole, oh, you're a socialist, or they're mentally ill, leave them alone to die, or whatever. No, you're hurting yourself, not uplifting the minimum.
Well, that's right. You're not, because you know, it's all relative. It's all relative. All right,
tell
guys.
us about your music. God. I'm so excited that you're back and out and playing. And
thank you.
Yes, I'm honored
that.
Go back.
Thank
repeat
you.
That?
We go back a long time. I'm blessed that you know my music. You know, and
well, you soar, and that's timeless. It doesn't matter how many years ago. It matters that you are still have that positive impulse.
Thank you. And I've seen a lot of life, and so there's a lot of life to write about. That never ends. All writers, keep writing, keep playing, and it's just really important. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep writing, and I feel for the young people and of all ages. I mean, I sometimes they say, well, what's your niche? You know what? All hearts are my niche. Okay. But period. I mean, all ages of people, and it's a matter of just I want to live, I want to laugh, I want to love. That's the basics. Anybody I've ever met, I was in the staffing industry for many years, so I found people jobs, and I developed new business development in New York City. I worked in Madison Square Garden building at Penn, 2 Penn Plaza, okay? And I say that because I'm proud of that, because you know what? It took a lot of work, Lord. I worked hard. I thought to myself, all right, I got to meet some people in the city, so let me go work in the city. Moved to the city, got a job, and it was a real eye-opener, because I said, wow, all kinds of people making all kinds of money. And my approach to the staffing industry, people would come in and I'd get their resume, and I said, okay, let me look at your resume. Oh, they're perfect. They were just a 10, And then I'd say, okay, now what do you really want to do? And they look at me and they were like, well, actually, you know what I'm saying? And so then I would slip them into a company that it was just lovely. It was a lot of fun, because I was able to play. And I placed those people, and employers were happy. My employee, was happy, and it was a lot of fun, and I did meet a couple people. That sounds like a
win-win for sure.
It was a win-win. I brought you bring out the best in each other. That's what I'm about. Laurie Cagno is about it's about bringing out the best in each other. And sometimes you got to go through the dirty, mucky, icky water. I'm definitely, but it can happen. It's interesting, because mostly, I've recently been, not recently, but, through my journey, again, and this is where I question the spiritual aspect of things, okay, is that I have been experiencing, like many, the awakening of spiritual things. And it's like so many people are waking up from a deep sleep, it seems. And
what do you do when you feel disconnected? Because that's part of the ascension, or this new thing is this time thing doesn't quite jive up with the body.
What do I do when I feel disconnected? I don't know. I mean, I'll probably sit down and write a song. Or I'll write a poem. Okay. You know what I mean? It's I got an instrument of your love for my feet. You guys want to hear that? Do we have time?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. All right, you ready, Alan? You ready, Dave?
Sure.
Here we go. All right, you ready, people? All right. This is a prompt from, I go to a group on Wednesdays called SHAMC at Safety Harbor Arts and Music Center in Safety Harbor, Florida. So it's SHAMC. SHAMC.org, okay? And our teacher, the facilitator, Laura Kepner. Laura, if you're listening, I love you and thank you. She gives us prompts. Every Wednesday we go, and actually every other Wednesday, let's see, the second Wednesday of the month is called Impromptu. It's like an open mic night, and the fourth Wednesday is an open mic night, okay? But the second Wednesday is called Impromptu, and she gives us a subject. Anyone can go and participate. And the subject on this one was shoes, okay? And, of course, I could write a book about shoes. God help us. But here we go. This is this is the poem, and then I'm going to sing a little thing at the end here. We got an instrument of your love for my feet. Oh, if these shoes could talk and sing, God bless the child that's got his own. Oh, dressed to the 10 sometimes, we fall down when we grow. Dance and sing, all filled with coy and joy. Make merry and merry with who and what we know. With passionate, tender steps, truly loved and adored, yet uneven at times, we're simply bored with one accord. One chord. A symphony plays in our hearts as we string harmonious pieces of the glory within. Your love stirs in the spaces of the winds, a constant reminder of this precious time we're in. As an instrument of your love, never tires as I seek. When I am strong, it is your face in the mirror I see, even when I am weak. An instrument of your love, just in time, marvelous and chic, softly toe tapping, crazed, amazed at our feet. Forever and always, with style and graceful leaps, I know we are destined for life and death. We do meet, an instrument of your love. I am, as we tweak and we land on our feet. Oh, if these shoes could talk and sing, God bless the child, it's got his own. It's got his own. Billie Holiday's. Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is new. Mama may have, and Papa may have too. But God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. Money, you've got lots of friends crowding around your door. But when it's gone and all the spending ends, they don't come around no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have and Papa may have too, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Oh, there you have it, boys. Guys, are you still there?
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
you. No, we all everybody left. The board
God,
dropped.
Are you still there?
Man.
Oh, God, help me.
Yeah.
Keep the silence. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. So, we can write about anything. I can write, Anyway, I appreciate that. So the thing is this, we just gotta, I appreciate you, Alan, for inviting me onto your show. Thank you.
I am still here. I had you on mute so you wouldn't hear me while I was listening through the computer so I could hear it loud. Nice to hear it fresh. Wow.
Oh, thanks.
I know with the time delay and all that.
Can you play something that's recorded? Maybe that would be really, really good if you could play a recorded song.
Okay, so should I play Peace of Mind?
Peace of Mind, yeah, real quick. A guy, I'm waitressing at the time. A guy walks into the bar. He's really down on his luck, tells me he wants to kill himself. I say, please don't do that. Hold on. I run to my car. I get a book of Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. I give it to him. I say, please take this book. Read this. It's a beautiful book. We say a little prayer. He goes on his way. I never see this man again. I go home. I bawl my eyes out, and I cry, and I write this song. Okay, so it's called Peace of Mind. So anybody out there, you hang in there, please. Please hang in there, people.
I met a man today, oh, it scared me a little. His mind consumed by every bad thing. Sometimes he says he feels like a puppet on a string, not knowing anything. Peace of mind, he kept saying, is what I'm looking for. Peace of mind, he kept saying, is all I need. You could see in his eyes all the dark places he's been. Restless years gone by, wandering and losing all the loneliness he faces. Peace of mind, he kept saying, is what I'm looking for. Peace of mind, he kept saying, is all I need to rest my weary head, a place to call my own, away, away. I met a man today, he was broken. Would his deeds of love always be unknown?
Yeah, I was like listening to that, and it was like, where do I stop? Hey, it stopped itself.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all good. I appreciate you playing that.
Who was the fiddle player on that? Mandolin, I'm sorry.
We've got Jamie Cohen. Thank you for asking. I was just going to say that song is from my CD called Dreams Keep Asking to Dance, which I co-wrote with a man by the name of David Coppola and Todd Schaefer, actually. A lot of the songs as well. And, we got Susie Carrington on background vocals and Larry Berry on electric guitar, Gonzalez on percussion, Marty Paglione on drums, Rusty Springfield on bass, Tim Carbone on violin, Jamie Cohen on electric guitar, mandolin and violins, Dave Edwards on piano, Glenn Fitton on doumbé, Paul Cusick on bass, Billy McManus on pianos, God rest his soul, he passed on. Bill Miller on drums has passed on, rest in peace. Don Sternecker on some keys, Ned Strom almost done. We got Aaron Mills and Debbie Burrell on photos. So there you have it, folks. We got Dreams Keep Asking to Dance with some awesome musicians from New Jersey. They're all still out there playing. They're doing some great music. So please look everybody up. Go see them. Support live original music and come out and see us play. See me play. I got some special players lined up for Sunday, June 3rd. And I do private parties. I do, believe it or not, play my guitar and do a little acoustic singing and talking and sharing. So, and story and song. We'll see what happens here at Laurie Cagno. I'm not done yet.
Hey, toot your horn. You mentioned some of your influences like gospel. What got you into music, really? I mean, where did you
Gospel music started in college. So I'm a classical major at William Patterson College, and I at my age 19, I guess, and I was studying classical music, but then I totally tuned into. I heard the gospel music down the hallway. I heard some interracial gospel music. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute, that's more my style, and some jazz, and I just plugged right into it. I loved it. Started singing with the choir there, and and then I went from there to Las Vegas and started touring with a gospel music there, Reverend James Cleveland. I was with a group called Love All People, and jazz is really I probably should end up as a jazz singer, but because I just love it, it's more natural for me. But I love everything. I like to sing different styles. You can hear me singing Broadway music on, if you look, there's a song, he's not the man I used to know, da-da-dee. Anyway, Dave, we're going to see what comes out for you guys. I'm going to write some special songs for you guys. But
wow, that's an honor. Thank you.
It's going to be my pleasure, and you're welcome. And I don't, it's like I don't mean to come off like I'm tooting my own horn, Not that that's a bad thing, but it's it's more of I'm just trying to figure out as an artist, I don't, how can I contribute in the world, continue to contribute and be a productive artist in the world and make it, comfort people and or bring them joy and or bring them to a place that they can reflect on things that can bring them to a place that's more loving for themselves and for others. I'm not, I'm not going to sit here and talk about politics. Politics isn't my specialty, The thing about politics is that, my God, we just got to, again, it's just a matter of, you guys are the brains. Dave, you know what I'm saying? You guys got the...
No, I don't want to talk politics.
Alan's
learn
mind.
about
Alan, your
you
brain
being
is...
at a coffee house in Florida or something. When are you coming back to New Jersey?
I'll be back in Jersey in the spring, and I have a niece that sings incredibly, and she'll be joining me, and my dearest friend, Suzanne Carrington, she's got an awesome band out there. Check her out. She and I will be doing some things. And Laura Gonzalez. Suzanne and Laura are going to be with me at the Touch Mother Earth, event. So,
are you making that official?
I got them booked. They're booked. It's official. And I'm working on my guitar player. I'm working on some guitar players, and I'm working on some other players, but I don't want to speak for anyone, and I have to. Everybody's on the road, so it's. I'm praying,
You and Lara go back. You and Lara go back.
Okay, folks. You heard it first here on an emerging forest that Dave receives news about who the heck is showing up at his Touch Mother Earth.
I'm telling you, I've committed. I'm committing to this. Yes. Laura Gonzalez is going to be out there with Mara Fani. That's the name of her group, but Laura will be with me, and we go back 20 years. Laura's all over my music. Suzanne is all over my music. Or, I'm gonna, I'm working on a guitar player that's pretty awesome, and but I've not worked with him before, so I don't want to miss anyone to mislead. I don't want to mislead anybody. It's a guitar player that I have not worked with, but I have definitely a strong connection, and he's just a wonderful, seasoned player, and he's checking his schedule. So we'll see. But I have to see how Spirit leads. See, that's what I wonder, Alan and Dave Whitman. I wonder about how you feel about the Spirit. You know what I mean? Like, not to put you on the spot, but do you think that way? Because you guys, Alan's brain. I mean, you're brilliant. You truly are, Alan. No, I'm not kidding you. I think, I want to, I'm like, God, I wish I was that smart, But I know I can understand. I see, I hear, I feel it. But then I go, I can't grasp it. What's the spiritual aspect? Do you believe, does the Spirit touch you? Or do you think in those terms? Or is that just a Christian way of, thinking? I mean, I know I experienced it myself. I experienced the Spirit, but I'm not quite sure.
I think that there isn't. I think that there isn't a time when we are not satisfying our passion that's within ourself. And I believe that can be called many different things.
Okay.
Including spirit. Sorry, Dave, I had to mute you. We got some feedback coming from you, so you're on listen for just now.
So is it vibration, like hot energy?
I just think that our entire envelope of experience is our entire. Everything that we experience is within a container that facilitates our growth. And
so our soul lives in our.
Basically, the soul is an incredibly. You can use words. Some of these words have a little bit of negative charge to them, but humans and all creatures are completely self-serving. So we're all self-serving. We're all in it for numero uno, and numero uno is quote unquote our individual recorder of experience. And you can call that many different things. One of the things that it has been called God. So you can look at someone and say, that person over there is experiencing things that are being brought to them by their God in order to build the next coping mechanism, in order to build the next set of experience, to strengthen and make more diverse the God within. So, if you really want to get backed away from the experience, we could be experiencing one petal of a flower that all of the gods within need because they've got all the other ones filled in. So maybe the petal's diversity is not manifest, but it is inside of all of us, and we can only experience one petal at a time. So my wish to have all the petals manifest might be a little short-sighted, and I'm sort of calling myself out on that political view which I voiced earlier in the program.
Right.
So as far as spirit is whatever you want to call it, and spirit is many different things. It is whatever you want to say it is. Whatever helps you, and everything does help you. So I'd like to get back to what you were talking about and the gentleman who came to you before we played Peace of Mind. And one of the things I like to tell people is initially when I was very upset in 2005 and went to see someone, he said, hey David, if you're still listening and want to get back on, please call back in and I'll get you on. I know you dropped out. And he said to me, there's some sayings, one of which is by Hafiz, the place that you are right now, God circled on a map for you. And if you understand that you are the God who's orchestrating your experience, you know that where you are is needed to build yourself. So it doesn't matter where you are. Now, in the judgmental system of society, with good and right and left and good and evil and left and right, where you are subjectively matters a lot. But literally, the person. Now I'm going to say some politically charged things because they're unpopular.
Right.
The rapist, or the mass murderer, is. It is distasteful, but they are where their God has orchestrated for them to be. And even I have distaste because I'm still partially within society, and it's also distasteful for listeners or people who are in society to entertain this notion. But if there is someone doing an action, they're supposed to be doing it, and the other person, okay, let's bring the entire equation in. There is a rapist and there is a person being raped. That is within the container called love. Those experiences are part of the whole that are needed to facilitate the full flowering of a being. Otherwise,
I'm going to have to respond to that. When you're done, I need to respond. Go ahead.
Go ahead, respond.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, let me say something first, real quick, before.
Okay, go ahead, City.
Well, I think that there are experiences of both people in that situation that, in particular, the rapist that would have led him to, or her, but more likely him, to that kind of that choice that they would make, and that would be things that happen in their life that or things that they allowed to happen in their life, or maybe they were abused, or maybe it's possible that that they themselves grew up not respecting women. Maybe they were raised even in a possibly religious household where women were put down, or maybe their mother was beaten by their father.
Of course.
Or their misogynist view. Yeah,
it's a huge conversation.
Yeah, I think that any type of event or circumstance that could cause them to go in that direction, and that's something that if you believe in the cycle of spring, summer, winter, falls, everything coming around, and if you look into reincarnation in that respect, or various incarnations, that's something that in their future incarnation that they would need to deal with on a more esoteric level.
Right, it's a huge conversation. The thing is this, okay, and I have experienced that, okay. And I've also taken responsibility for where I was and why it happened. Okay, big conversation, which we can have another time. But the thing is that we all have free choice. Okay, and I believe. I wish we had another hour. God help us. Okay, I believe that we can develop our natural gifts and talents, our intuition. Okay, I really believe that we can and we will in this world, in our lifetime. Okay, I believe it's happening, that we can develop our intuition so that we can change that. Okay, we can influence. We can influence each other and we make our own choices. Okay, and we can almost detect and prevent some things from happening. Now, look, this is a big conversation, and it's a serious conversation. It's an important conversation, and I love having these type of conversations because people don't really talk about much. I mean, honestly, I love people, but most of the time, we don't talk about too much because life is heavy and people are tired. I get it, or everybody's. I hate to say it, but fighting battles, their own battles. But again, and I don't like to use that word because if we're fighting, if we talk battle, then we're going to find a battle. So I don't want to be doing that. And I know we only have a couple more minutes, Alan. So I know you want to close out the show. And anyway, we got a half an hour. We got a half an hour. Oh, good. So let me just go on for a couple more minutes here. Okay. Listen, man. When I was a young teenager, I went through the experience that, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I made that choice to go to that place. And I'm not saying it was my fault, but I hate to put fault on anything, okay? But you know what? First of all, the person that violated me was an older, 10 years older than I was. Okay, I'm 14, they're 26. And long story short, I didn't realize, I went to a psychologist, 15 years later, and she said, what's your first experience of sex? And I said, I'm not sure how to answer that question. And she said, why? I said, well, and I tell her, and she says, you were 14? You see this? My daughter was 14. You see that picture of her? I said, uh-huh. And she said, is that something you wanted him to do to you? And I said, nope. He just told me he would like to tell me something, and I should meet him somewhere. And it's, again, a long story, and I don't want to go too deep into this because it's just not necessary right now. But I kept this a secret for a long time. I tucked it away. I said, oh, man, I can't tell anybody this because this is just going to hurt people. And, I don't, blah, 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 blah. And then years later, I was like, I went to this psychologist and she asked me and bippity bop, and I went right back to the place that this happened. It's amazing. And I met similar people that knew that person. It really is amazing. See, this is why I'm writing a book, because synergistic things happen. And I'm still pulling it together on this, but, I went back to that spot to see if I could find his name, so I could address this person and this man, and I found his name, and I actually met some of the family, how I first met this person, and I was like, wow, this is really strange. A different state completely, okay, long story short, justice was done, okay? But my whole point is I got to reel this in. The whole point is that I believe if we develop our intuitive gifts, our intuition, so we can, really sense like something is not right or something is right. Like the more heightened we are with these gifts, then we can avoid situations and or head them off or protect children or even the abuser, like people that are abusing. Look, who wants to be an abuser? Nobody. Nobody wants to be an abusive person. Nobody. And you know what I mean?
Right.
No one. We all want to be good, loving people. Even the evil people. They don't want to be evil. They don't wake up and go, oh, I want to be evil today. I mean, if they're psychologically completely schizophrenia sick, okay, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that works, I need the PhD to jump in here. I don't believe that our core beings, I don't believe anybody, I believe we all, no one desires that. I just, it's just mind-boggling to me. But anyway, I'll just be quiet, and one of you guys can take it away here.
Well, I think you're talking about the intuitiveness. That's a lot of developing the lack of a better term, the more feminine side of the human experience, and intuitiveness is more connected
empathy,
to that
compassion.
receptive
Right. Well, empathy,
energy.
Yeah, empathy, compassion. The chakra system. If it's lined up properly, we're going to sense something. I live in a neighborhood where I'm telling you, a terrible thing happened in somewhere an area that I know. Okay, and I'm telling you, I saw this person that had done something terrible, okay? And I was in my car driving, and my intuition said, don't make eye contact with that person. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And I didn't, okay? And then a few days later, I hear of this terrible thing that happened, and I'm saying to myself, holy God in heaven, did that happen? Like, was that person walking away from that situation when I saw that person walking down the road and that happened? And so, of course, I said to myself, wow, now if I had paid attention to that, perhaps I could have, and I'm not blaming myself for this situation that happened. I'm just saying, I said to myself, wow, if I had more of a heightened, if I were more in tune, perhaps, it may have already happened. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. But perhaps I could have been helpful to the police that were trying to find this guy. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I certainly know in my own life, if my intuition was stronger for other situations in my life, maybe I could have, and sometimes it was. And again, my songs, they don't come from, they're coming from somewhere. I guess, Alan, you're saying they're coming from within me, right? Okay, so, this is good. Inspired by others. We're inspired by, I'm writing a song called, there was a plug, one of the, again, a facilitator said, one of the open mics, they said something about they wanted us to write about the guy with the silver spoon. What do you think about that person, right? So I wrote, the title is called, and hey, anybody can write anything they want on this. The title of the song is Flat, Rich, Broken, Open. That's my take on it. We'll see what comes out of that. I'm ranting now, but I'm ranting a little bit because I get upset because I go, wow, man, if we could all be better if we just, I don't want to name names, but think about it. People in positions of power, okay? If they were more, for lack of a better word, power, if they were in tune and awakened, and I'm not judging. I don't think I'm judging. Forgive me if I am. But if they were more in tune with, people instead of, other things, the world would be a better place. So all the people that are in tune, I guess it all goes around. We have to have the good with the bad. I don't know, Alan. Do we need the good and the bad and the yin and the yang and the, evil and, or is that something we make up? Where does Western medicine and Eastern medicine, how do we make these things come together, integrate, and make it a better place? Because there's something to it.
Well, it's true. I mean, I think that with the thing is that we grow through challenging experiences, which is why, in a lot of ways, we seek challenging experiences.
Right.
I'm not saying it's the things that push us out of our comfort zone, for lack of a better term, and that's cliche, but
right.
It's when we really move away from what we know into the unknown, and the uncertainty is really when we grow in challenging situations, and they're not always they can be painful. They can be traumatic. Everyone has trauma in different ways. Different things have happened,
but I think.
And as far as East and Western medicine,
right?
I think that Western medicine is about suppression. Western medicine is much about suppression. I have a headache, here, take these pills, or you have this. Whereas Eastern medicine is about embracing, going to the source of what the problem is, and often it's not even physical. Right. Usually it's something else. It could be a psychological block. It could be spiritual related. It could be something that is that has nothing to do with the physical body, but over time the repression of not dealing with that situation or that emotion or what have you becomes an illness or a disease. And that's where Eastern medicine comes in, because Eastern medicine deals with things on a lack of a better term, a higher level. You don't just go to a physician who spends 15 minutes looking you over, going, "Okay, you're good. See you next year." There's different things. They don't give you, well, here's a script. Take this.
Right.
Because you really look at it, and that's why I got into what I do with coaching, because offering opportunities for people to heal, to look at their trauma or their pain and work through it on their own in a way they don't have to take medicine. Sometimes you do have to sit with your pain and your trauma, because that's how going into those places is really where the deep healing takes place.
Definitely. And that takes work, and I've done a lot of that work. I get that.
Yeah, the inner work. Yeah.
People, that we all have to do that. So, Alan, are you still with us?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where intuition comes in. I think when you go to those places and do that deep work, I think you open yourself up to that more intuitive side, or those energies, for lack of a better term, or aspects within us that open up to what you would call spirit, or you could call higher self, or whatever term, depending on what philosophy you may follow. Say source. I like source. I think it's the best term.
Right. And I know Alan and I touched on this the last time as well. I know we have. What do you think, Alan?
I'm thinking. I have a particular way of thinking, which is changing a lot. day by day. But I was in a position where I had put myself by my own deeds and my own perspective on my deeds so far over the border from what was acceptable to me that there was no way I could come back, and there was no way that I should be allowed back in the house. And I literally lay on the floor of 2 apartments for 18 months, just replaying my entire life, saying, "Is there a reason? Is there a reason why you should continue to live? Is there any way? Is there any way that you can forgive yourself for what you did and come back to quote unquote being a good person?" And after doing all of that thought, there wasn't a progression of forgiveness. There was a 365 and 180, which is 18 months. That's about 546 days. At the end of 545 days, I still hated myself, and I still was not allowed back in the house. But in an instant, going like a light switch, going from lights out to lights on, all of a sudden I realized what I realized in a complete sense what Rumi was saying when he said the out beyond the notions of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I will meet you there. So even if the circumstances of our society at present are manufactured by a group who is feeding us nutritionally inadequate food so that they can create skulls with compressed brain space so that we can have these psychological issues, so that we can have hungers, so that we can have dental pain, so that we can have diseases of the body. Even if that is the case, there are customers who are inhabiting those bodies to commit the deeds that those souls need absolutely beyond a doubt, because there are souls in those bodies committing those acts. So I don't say that what I just said is valid. I don't say that what I just said will be the way I think 10 weeks from now or 10 years from now. But right now, I'm trying to be holistic, and I'm trying to accept everything as being a valid experience. I'm not trying. I'm trying to be an unruler. I'm trying to be inclusive of the entirety. I'm trying to say all of the lion
humanity
is good. I'm trying to say all of is within the possibility. So in order to, even beyond the petals of the flower that manifest, there's so much more. And I'm not saying good or bad. I don't want to use good or bad. I don't want to say I don't want to say how I think is a mature way to think. I don't want to say that. I don't want to have you, Laurie, say, "Hey, Alan's a lot smarter than I am," because I'm a male, and I know I'm a heck of a lot stupider than every female. Because I just understand that to be that's just right. Because women have been given the stewardship of a womb. Therefore, women don't look at the ecosystem. That's why there are no women in politics. That's why there are no women in Hollywood. Because the men who are in all of those roles, even in the women's roles in Hollywood and politics, say we cannot have a womb in politics because they will consider the womb of the earth first. And that's not what we're about. That's why
but that is changing. Oh, I got to say, that is changing. Obviously, that's changing. The women are rising up, in those places. And the men are...
The folks that we think are women in those roles actually are not. So that's, basically what we've done tonight is we've opened up a huge can of worms that we're not going to be able to solve.
Well, for God's sake, of course we have. Of course we have.
Well, if you think about it, the womb concept, we exist in a huge womb. Isn't that what space is? Isn't that what, we essentially are in a giant womb.
Right.
Well, so
listen to us.
we are in a container. We are in a container who brings us the next instant. And the next instant is an experience that is exactly the greatest gift that we could possibly receive.
Sure. To me, that's the only reason. It is exactly what we need next in order to build the realization of our soul. So that's what we get. Otherwise, our soul would be wasting its time, and our souls don't do that. Right. No, everything is life is the lesson. Every living breath we take is our lesson. Is our experience, and thank God. And you know what, Dave Miller, thank you for sharing that before. I appreciate that. I didn't say that before, and Alan as well. It's
I'd like to let everyone know that Dave Miller will be on the show on February the 4th, Sunday, February the 4th.
Nice.
And I think we have time, and we should play. Let's see. Come on, speak up just a little bit.
You want to play another song?
Yeah, I was going to try to if my this.
Which song? Which song you got queued up?
Dave
Miller, I love you.
Find it. It's this time, right?
This time.
Did we play that one?
We didn't play that yet. This time it's called This Time, and it's a beautiful ballad that Todd Schaefer and I wrote together, and it's just a very tender song about love. And this time around, it's going to be. It seems to be the popular. It's the words say it all. You say, "Don't worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow take care of itself." It's just a lovely little gentle song. Love is a choice every time, and every person has an important story. That's what I write here. So love is a choice every time, and every person has an important story to bring to relationships. So it's a gentle call to love again and again. Called This Time.
All right. Let me give it a play.
All right.
Tomorrow
that was a sample of This Time by Laurie Cagno, and everyone should immediately be inspired to go to CD Baby and look up Laurie Cagno and play that song again. And the great thing about what just happened is that Dave Miller is back to close the show.
Mm-hmm.
There was a nice Kate Bush quality to that last song.
Well, I was shuffling a couple of papers. You needed to mute me, and that's perfectly fine. And then I just wanted to listen, and the other, it's the other person is Dave, also, correct?
Yeah,
Dave.
Not online though.
It's just so good to hear these different viewpoints, and we're all emerging. I think if you look at it, we're slowly moving up. We may not be spiraling up. Some of us are. Some of us are moving at snail's pace, but we're moving forward.
Absolutely. Was that Dave Whitman before? I gave that credit to Dave Miller. Who was talking before?
Oh, I heard it. I wasn't worried about it.
Oh, Dave, both of you Daves. I love you both. I appreciate meeting both of you on the line here, and that was, it was good to share some dialogue.
That I just wanted to make a comment. That last song, that I know that goes back some years. Did you grow up listening to Roberta Flack?
Oh, I loved her. I mean, I listened to all kinds of music.
She was another one of those great singers, right?
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, people who mix different energies, you can tell that they themselves listen to 3 or 4 influential types of music and then called it their own, and now someone follows in that footsteps. But you really, I love that I can't pin you down in terms of style. That's so important that you are your own.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's really an honor to hear. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't listen to a lot of music growing up, actually, because, there's different reasons for that. But oh God, you guys, we could just talk for hours. It's insane. Yeah, Anyway, I started listening to music more in college, but high school I listened to, I did a lot of the musicals and things like this, and certainly listened to the radio and such. But I always
but that was still being influenced.
Oh, they're influences. Oh no, there are definitely all influences for sure. Mahalia Jackson and God, I can't even think right now.
Style, different.
Aretha
you don't
Franklin.
have to listen to. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin. Not Mahalia Jackson. The Ella Fitzgerald. She was always one of my favorites. I listened to her a lot, and Barbra Streisand growing up, and Carole King. Joni Mitchell. And then I guess as I got older, I listened to more, more and more, singers. But I like classical music. I listen now I listen to classical music more. But I mean the jazz, love it.
You're training the ear, the orchestra, composer, all come together in classical music, and look at where we are now compared to when classical music was in the 16, 17, 1800s.
Oh,
beautiful.
Gosh, absolutely. I this experience that had happened to me as a young person, it shut down a lot. It hurt. It hurt me.
Thank you for sharing that with us, by the way.
Well, you're welcome. I haven't really shared that that much, actually. I don't think I've ever shared it publicly, even live.
Well, with me too. Now people are.
It's okay. It's okay, and I appreciate you guys sharing your stories too.
I really am moved to say that as we understand in the environment that is this radio show and in general Spiritual Unity Radio Network, that it's all on a plane, and you sort of got through a doorway in order to be able to relate to other people by having an experience. And then for some reason, I looked at myself and I was able to continue to live with myself, and finally understood that there's a larger playing field, and this society just doesn't tell you about the existence of being able to exist off the coloring board.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what?
We never know which billiard. Things are shifting.
I'm sorry, I cut it over you. Every time a billiard ball hits another billiard ball, it sets that ball off into new motion. And without some bad experiences, I think, Alan, I like always how you remain indifferent, that the billiard ball doesn't say good or bad, it just goes.
All right.
And then it becomes the new experience, and then you embrace it.
Right. I mean, in
good
order,
point. That's a good one.
Maybe by going through those experiences, I became a bad billiard ball, and right now I'm a bad billiard ball. But I have to develop coping mechanisms.
Are you black?
In order to be able, even though I'm now a bad billiard ball, I have to be able to psychologically justify. Yeah. Right. So
where does bad billiard ball come from? Isn't that society labeling or self-labeling because of society?
Yes.
Right.
Society wishes to rule the playing field, and by cutting off certain parts of the greater action possibility from what is acceptable, in the end, you rule out the functioning of nature, and you create what is in this society, which is a functional psychological defect. Deserts.
That's exactly right.
Inability of people to relate to other people's behavior, because they say, I don't understand why you acted that way. Or
that's the separation.
Yeah, I mean, inability of the greater populace to say to the people who are putting down these rules, no, you are making us non-functional. We can't deal with that.
We're going to have to save that for another topic. And you're talking about education dumbing us down, treating us to be drones for society.
Okay,
that's where you get fractured personality.
So I'm gonna reach out through the ether, and I'm gonna grab everybody and say, thank you so much, Laurie, for being here. I know you're going to be here again.
Yes. Second Sunday of every month.
You can be contacted through LaurieCagno.com. David Whitman basically can be contacted through me, as can David Miller. Please send me an email to contact those folks at RITTER@ALAN88@gmail.com. I thank everybody for a really wonderful program. But
thank you.
Most centrally, I thank my special guest, Laurie Cagno, for basically being on again, and in the first part and for most of the program, sharing the space with quote unquote conversation.
Definitely. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor, truly. And I just want to encourage people one more time. Hang in there, people. We love you. I love you. And keep the hope. Keep the faith.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
And
thank you all.
And thank you, David. Thank you. Here's something I didn't get to say yet. Thank you, David, for being on the show.
Absolutely.
And good night, everyone, and have a great week. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir.
for listening to the Spiritual Unity Radio Network. Join us 7 nights a week for exciting programming covering a variety of expressions of faith. And remember, all manifestations of the divine are equally valid.
Okay, kids.
We got T-Mobile's unlimited family plan with Netflix included, so...
Our New Year's resolution is to not spoil your shows since we can watch our own shows on our phones, tablets, or TV. Good.
Get 4 lines for just $40 each per month with autopay, taxes and fees included, and a Netflix subscription on us, so you can watch your favorite movies and shows. Only with T-Mobile.
Video streams at 480p. A small fraction of customers using over 50 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Netflix for 2 screens included. Terms apply. Price includes sales tax.